Hello dear students, how are you all? I hope you all are good. Before starting today's session, I have a question for you all. What happens when somebody praises you? Like, hey, you are very intelligent or you are very beautiful? I am so sure that you are very happy that time. But do you know, sometimes the people appreciating you or praising you might be out of selfishness. They might need something from you. Therefore, we should understand that if they are really praising us or only flattering us. Dear children, today we are going to study a poem which teaches about the danger of pride and flattery. So, let's start the poem from Unit 1 of your English textbook Purvi, which is named as The Raven and the Fox. Dear students, this poem, The Raven and the Fox, is a fable. Do you know what a fable is? A fable is actually a short story that includes animals and natural elements as characters, like the stories of the hare and the tortoise, the thirsty crow, and the stories of Panchatantra. It teaches us a moral lesson in a very simple and practical way. This is to teach us the difference between right and wrong and to learn about acceptable behaviors and manners. This poem is composed by Jean de La Fontaine, who was a famous French poet. He is best known for his fables. He drew his inspiration for this poem from Aesop's fables. Aesop's fables is a collection of fables by Aesop, who was an ancient Greek storyteller born around 620 BC as a slave. So, students, can you tell the names of some common birds like parrot, pigeon, hen, duck, sparrow, crow? Do you know, there is one more bird which looks like a crow, but actually it's a little different. Let me show you. Here you see the picture of that bird. This is raven. Raven is a bird which looks like a crow with black feathers, but it is actually bigger in size. It's an intelligent bird with a lifespan of 10 to 15 years. Students, we have two characters in this poem, Mr. Raven and Mr. Reynard. Here you can see the pictures of them. Mr. Raven, which is an intelligent bird, but in this poem, it is portrayed as foolish. It croaks like frogs to communicate with others. Now let's talk about Mr. Reynard. Mr. Reynard is a fox, and we all know that fox is a wild animal that lives in the jungle. Foxes are usually cunning and clever, and they know how to get their way. Okay, so now let's start with today's poem, The Raven and the Fox. Mr. Raven was perched upon a limb, and Reynard the fox looked up at him. For the raven held in his great big beak a morsel the fox would go far to seek. In this stanza, we see a big black bird, Mr. Raven, who is sitting on the high branch of a tree. He is very proud and he really looks very nice with shiny feathers. He is savoring a juicy morsel. Below him, Reynard, the cunning fox, with a twinkle in his eyes, is watching the raven with jealousy. The fox wants something very special, and what is that? That is what raven is holding in his beak. He wants his food, and he would do almost anything to get it, and so the fox, known for his quick wit and cunningness, starts to think of a plan. So we can see that fox is very clever and knows that raven has something he wants. Dear students, this sets the stage for the story where we learn about the fox who tries to get what he wants from the raven, who is proud of his beauty. Here are some new words for you. First is perched. That means to rest or sit on something high. Its opposite is to climb or to fly off or to take off. It can be used as the village is perched on the top of a high hill. Morsel which means a small piece of food. This is the antonym of whole or full. Like, my brother ate every last morsel of dark chocolate. And last, to seek, which means to get or to obtain, and its antonym is to lose or to refuse. Like, Emily is working hard to seek the highest grades in the exam. Now, let's move to the next stanza and see what happens next. Said the fox in admiring tones, my word, Sir Raven, you are a handsome bird. Such feathers, if you would only sing, the birds of these woods would call you king. In this part, the fox starts talking to the raven with a cunning smile on his face. He starts to praise the raven's beauty and intelligence. He speaks in such a way that the raven was flattered. He said, wow, you are such a pretty bird. You have such beautiful and shiny feathers. He goes on to flatter the raven by saying that only if he would sing, then all the birds of the forest would think that raven is the best bird in the forest, and then they would take him as the king of the forest. Dear children, can you guess what that fox is trying to do? He is trying to make the raven feel really good about himself. It was actually a trick because the raven feels proud and happy. He might forget about being careful and then he would drop the food. The fox uses such sweet words, and this shows that how sometimes people say nice things to us just to get something they need. Dear children, we should always be very careful of such people. We should never be tricked and try to find out why someone is saying sweet words to us. Let's discuss some more new words. Admiring means showing respect or appreciating someone or something, and its opposite is to hate or to disapprove something. We can use it like the whole crowd was admiring Ila's skill. Feathers mean the soft covering of birds that help them fly, as Lord Krishna admires peacock feathers a lot. Woods, which means a small thick forest, and its antonym can be a meadow or a grassland. We can use it as we went for a picnic in the woods. Before moving forward, let me ask a question. What would the raven do? Would he be able to understand the reason behind the sweet words of fox for him? Let's see what happens next. The raven, who did not see the joke, forgot that his voice was just a croak. He opened his beak in his foolish pride, and down fell the morsel the fox had eyed. Croak, as I told earlier, a low and harsh sound that a crow or raven makes. Foolish means lacking good sense or judgment or being silly, and pride is a feeling of being better than others. Sometimes it can be too much. The raven is too proud that he doesn't realize that the fox is tricking him. He does not understand that the fox is admiring him to get that morsel. The raven thinks that he is so special and really looks great, and so he comes in the sweet words of the fox. He is so happy that he decides to sing even though his voice is not very pretty. It sounds more like a croak, but because of the admiration of the fox, he swells, and so he forgets the wisdom of elders. And in the eagerness to show off his singing ability, he opens his beak. What happens next? You all can guess. The delicious piece of food falls out. This is the moment what the fox is waiting for, and then he gets what he wants. He snatches the food. Just because of the raven's pride, he forgets to be careful. This shows that being proud can lead us to make mistakes and create problems. We should always be careful while listening and talking to others. Just like the raven, who should understand that his voice is not sweet, it would not make the other birds feel good, yet he comes under the influence of his false pride and starts to sing and loses his favorite food. The new words from this stanza are croak, that means a low and harsh sound that a crow or raven makes, and its antonym is a sweet or soothing sound. We can use it as the frog croaked all night in the Bengal bog. Then foolish, which means lacking good sense or judgment or silly or unwise. Its opposite is wise or smart, and we can use it as the man was so foolish to believe a stranger. Next is pride, which means a feeling of being better than others. Sometimes it can be too much. Its antonym would be humility or modesty, like she forgot her pride and asked for help. So, let's see the last stanza. Ha ha, laughed the fox, and now you know. Ignore sweet words that make you glow. Pride, my friend, is rather unwise. I am sure this teaching is quite a surprise. Here in the picture, you can see that because of the false pride and foolishness of the raven, the morsel which was in the beak of the raven is now in the hands of the fox. In this part, the fox mocks the raven and tells him a valuable lesson. He says that now the raven would understand that he should be careful with sweet words that make him feel good and happy. The fox in this stanza is teaching us that if we are too proud, then we will ignore what is happening around us. He says that false pride can lead us to make silly mistakes, like losing something. He was sure that the raven would be surprised because he would have never experienced it before. The fox was very clever this time because he gets what he wants, and so he teaches us that sometimes people might say nice things to us, but it is not that they actually mean it, but it should be to get what they want. This ending of this poem shows that we should be wise and not let our pride lose our valuable things. The new words from this stanza are glow, which means to shine or feel happiness, sometimes from praise, and the antonym for this word is dullness or dimness. We can use it as his father can see the glow of success on his face. Unwise means lacking wisdom or good sense, or foolish, which is the opposite of wise or smart. We can use it. It is wise to ignore elders' advices. Teaching, that means here is the act of helping someone learn or understand. Antonym, to mislead or to misguide, as she always helps her students by her teachings. Dear students, I hope you understand the message of this poem. That is, we should always remember that not everyone who says nice things has good intentions, and it is important to stay humble and not let our pride blind us to the truth. By doing so, we can avoid making foolish mistakes like the raven did. Dear students, have you found the rhyming words of this poem? Let me tell you. There are 4 stanzas. Each has 2 pairs of rhyming words. In stanza 1, there is limb and him, and weak and seek. In the second stanza, there is world and bird, sing and king. In the third stanza, joke and croak, and pride and hide. And in the last stanza, there is know and glow, and unwise and surprise. You can find some more rhyming words. Now, let us read these sentences. For the raven held in his great big beak, the birds of these woods would call you king. Do you find something common here? Yes, in these sentences, the beginnings of the both pair of words are same, like big and beak, woods and wood. Both start with the same sounds of B and W. So, when there are two or more words together and they begin with the same sound, then it is called alliteration. So, alliteration is a repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of words. Now, I have a fun activity. These are tongue twisters, and in all these sentences you can find that there is alliteration, like a flea and a fly flew up in a flue. 6 sticky skeletons, double bubble gum, bubbles double. Cooks cook cupcakes quickly. A noisy noise annoys an oyster. You all should practice these for good pronunciation. As an assignment, you should write the poem in a story form in your notebooks. In the end of the session, I have a question for you all. Imagine someone praises you too much. How would you react? Think and reflect. Dear students, never let pride cloud your judgment, because it can lead to mistakes, and so it's important to stay humble. See you in the next session. Thank you.